Hello everyone, and this is this week's edition of The Good, the Bad, the TNA. Now, I'm going to go off and initially say that I felt like this show this week was not a very good show. Mostly due to the fact that you had a lot more talk than you did action inside the ring. That's just my personal opinion on the aspect that it felt like there was a long period of time in between matches, in between action. You had a lot of talking. You had a lot more of your action not take place with actual matches than you did actual matches in the general of the night. And you started off with a match. You had Tommy Dreamer and Bully Ray versus AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels in a street fight. Now, honestly, I don't think that they needed to do a street fight on tonight's Impact. I know they did a tag match a few weeks ago, but they could have done another tag match this week, especially with the aspect that they're putting AJ in a neck brace at the time. There really shouldn't be a point of a company putting somebody in a neck brace in a street fight. So it just didn't feel like it made any sense doing that match on this night's show. It was an alright match, but like I said, I didn't think there was a truthful point of doing it. Also, you had some okay setup, nothing too bad, but okay setup with the whole Mr. Anderson coming out in the Sting attire and doing an interview segment with the Disco Inferno. It was an okay interview segment. It really didn't do much for. I don't think it really did much for the Sting versus Anderson storyline. You did have Sting come out afterwards and chase him away, but like I said, I don't think it truly did much. You have Mr. Anderson trying to bury Sting, but he can't find anybody to actually do it. So honestly, I don't feel like it did much for the storyline there. You had Jeff Jarrett and Matt Morgan have a match where Angle picked his opponent. Essentially, it was a pick your poison night. Angle picked Jeff's opponent. Jeff picked Angle's opponent for the night. He chose RVD versus Angle. And I'll get to that later. You had a very quick match with Jeff Jarrett and Matt Morgan, which I didn't think was any good at all. You had way too much interference. It was just. It was a very typical quick TV match. And it probably in the end hurt Matt Morgan more than it did anything else in helping Jeff Jarrett. Let me look at my notes for a second. You had other matches for the night. You had Mickie James versus Winter, which outside of the Angelina Love attacking Mickie James after the match served real no purpose. You didn't have any Madison Rayne coming in there. So you had no build-up for the storyline between Madison Rayne and Mickie James going into another match. Sorry. And you had Kendrick versus Abyss. Once again, it was an okay match. It did what its job needed to do, which was set up more towards the storyline of trying to get rid of the X Division and getting the X Division stars on the actual show itself. And they did a good job in setting up more for the storyline on that, but match itself was okay. Honestly, I don't know why they did their bit with Gunter versus Eric Young. They were going to try to redo the whole finger poke of doom, and then you just have Eric Young roll him up and get the victory and win the television title. Honestly, I don't know why they did it that way, because if anything, I mean, Gunter's an immortal right now, and he is made to look extremely weak by losing the title this way, and I just don't see the personal point of them actually doing that. And with the main event tonight, it was good, and it was a semi-quick main event. It didn't take too long to do the match between Rob Van Dam and Kurt Angle. You had Karen and Jeff Jarrett up on commentary for that match. It was a good back and forth match, not a very long match, but a very good match in that term. Like I said, you can get good matches very quickly done, and then you can get excellent matches in a long period of time. This was one of those good, quick matches. It had good back and forth, it had good action, and it got a good point across. And that's what I thought about that. But honestly, I did not think that the show was a very good show. I mean, one really good match out of it was doesn't really save the show. And you had a lot of talking versus a lot of action in the ring, which you would figure the week out. You usually get a lot more talk the week after a pay-per-view, and then the next week they'll focus more on the in-ring action. This week they focused a lot more on the talking aspect of everything and setting up for the Slammiversary pay-per-view. But honestly, it just came off bad to me on TV, and that's my own personal opinion. That's pretty much all I have for you. This is this week's The Good, the Bad, the TNA, and thank you guys for watching.